The one-act play Riders to the Sea by John Millington Synge is a tragedy which falls under blue humanities. What is blue humanities? This is an emerging field which explores the relationship between the human beings and the world's oceans, seas, and other water bodies. It is a study which particularly focuses on oceans, seas, and aquatic environments. The play is set in the Aran Islands, an island of the west of Ireland. He is talking about Aran Islands, which consists of three small islands, Enishmo, Enishmo, and Inisha. Cottage kitchen with nets, oilskins, spinning wheel, some new boards standing by the wall, etc. He's describing a cottage kitchen which has nets because he is talking about a fisherman family. They have those fishing nets, they have oilskins, the traditional, durable, and waterproof garments that made from cotton canvas treated with oil or wax. Those are oilskins, spinning wheel, some new boards, all those things are placed in the cottage kitchen. Now let's look how he has described cottage kitchen in his another book, The Aran Islands. There are a few instances taken from that book. He's describing the kitchen, those cottage kitchen in the islands that usually have two doors opposite each other, opening into the open air, but they do not have any windows. Because of the atmosphere, cottage kitchen was made up like this. Now he's describing the kitchen. The kitchen itself, where I will spend most of my time, is full of beauty and distinction. Right? Kitchen is very beautiful. It is very distinct. The red dresses of the women who cluster around the fire on their stools give a glow of almost Eastern regions. He's talking about the Eastern countries, Eastern way of living, that majestic way of living, their lifestyle. And the women, they do prefer to wear red dresses, and it is very rich in color. Red color is very rich. It has high payoff. And the walls have been toned by the tar smoke to a soft brown that blends with the gray earth color of the floor. The color of the floor is a bit gray and soft brown. Many sorts of fishing tackle and the nets and oilskins of the men are hung upon the walls or among open rafters. He is giving a very picturesque description of the cottage kitchen, where once he visited. The family about whom he is writing in this play, he lived there. He lived with the family members. So he knew very well, and he is giving those exact definitions. He have seen he had seen their struggles in life. He is simply trying to bring that struggles through the master stroke of his pen. The curries and spinning wheels, the tiny wooden barrels that are still much used in the place of earthenware, the homemade cradles, churns, and baskets are full of individuality and being made from materials that are common here. Something which is common on the parts of the world that becomes very uncommon to the islanders because they live a life with hardship, struggle every now and then is knocking at their door. They know it very well, still they do not have any other chance to flee from their destiny. Spinning wheel. Spinning wheel is very common in Ireland because the women spin the yarn from the wool of their own ship. It do have some symbolic significance in this play, as we can say that modern plays are full of symbolism. It has so many themes, and the writers they do mention so many things which represent or which adds depth to the text. Spinning wheel could be attributed to the sisters of fate, which is prevailing in Greek philosophy, as if it talks about destiny. It hints some outcomes, or in medieval philosophy, it was regarded as wheels of fortune. If you have read the fairy tale of Sleeping Beauty, there you would also find the spindle, which acted as a weapon, causing an eternal sleep upon that girl, the young girl. So that spinning wheel that has so many references in literature. Some new boards, you could see the picture, those boards. And from the very beginning of the play, Synge is hinting on the dark side of living on this island. Those boards would be used later to make coffins. He's preparing his audience to experience those life stories. Kathleen, a girl of about 20, finishes kneading cake. Kathleen, a young girl, she's 20 years old. She was kneading cake. She just completed her task and puts it down in the pot oven by the fire. She placed it by the fire, then wipes her hands and begins to spin the wheel. Now she has started spinning the wheel, the wheels of fortune. Nora, a young girl, puts her head in at the door. Nora is another girl who is very young. She kept her head at the door. Now Nora is saying in a low voice, "Where is she, Kathleen? She's lying down, God help her, and maybe sleeping, if she's able." Nora and Kathleen are talking about their mother, Moria. They are saying that Moria is lying down on bed. Maybe she is sleeping, or maybe she is not sleeping, because the circumstances of life has snatched away her natural way of sleeping, her natural way of taking rest in life. She has become irresistible. So they're saying that if she is able, then probably she is sleeping. Nora comes in softly. Nora was standing near the door. She comes in softly and takes a bundle from under her shawl. She takes a bundle out. Kathleen, spinning the wheel rapidly, she was very focused on her work. "What is it you have?" Kathleen is asking. "What have you brought? What is here?" Nora, the young priest is after bringing them. It's a shirt and a plain stocking were god of a drowned man in Donegal. Donegal is a place in Ireland. You could see in the map that is indicated in the dark green color. So they have found from the drowned man. What they have found? A shirt and a plain stocking. Kathleen stops her will with a sudden movement and leans out to listen. There is some connection. That's why Kathleen simply stopped her work. Now Kathleen is very eager to hear what actually has happened. Nora, we have to find out if it's Michael's. They are. Sometime herself will be down looking by the sea. Nora is saying that we, the two of us, should find out whether this shirt and this plain stocking belong to Michael. Michael is their brother. He went out to earn some money towards the sea because that was the only way of transportation. They have to pass that passage by boat, and the sea storms and the stormy weather, everything that has a strong impact upon their destiny. So we are to find out if it's Michael's they are. Sometime herself will be down looking by the sea. Herself is Moria, because Michael has gone long ago and he has not returned yet. And Moria, their mother, will go outside of their house and stand by the seashore to look whether her son, Michael, is coming back. Kathleen, how would they be Michael's, Nora? How would he go the length of that way to the far north? And Kathleen is saying, how could this belong to Michael's? Belong to Michael? How could the body be Michael's? Because it was found on the to the far north. Nora is saying the young priest says he has known the like of it. If it's Michael's, they are, says he. You can tell herself he has got a clean burial by the grace of God, and if they are not his, the two sisters are talking and discussing among themselves that the priest has said if the shirt and the stocking belong to Michael's, then they could say that Michael has got a clean burial. And if they do not belong to Michael, then this two girls should not utter a single word about them. Because hearing those things, Moria would cry till death. The door which Nora half closed is blown open by a gust of wind. The door got opened, as if the storm is not only outside, but it is also provoking them inside their heart. Whether this belonged to Michael or not, whether they has lost their brother or not. Kathleen, looking out anxiously, did you ask him? Would he stop Bertley going this day with the horses to the Galway fair? Bertley is also their brother. Now Kathleen is asking, will the priest stop Bertley from going to the fair? Galway is very famous for its location, its art and culture, its fairground. Okay, so will Bertley be going? Or will the priest ask him not to go? Nora, I will stop him, says he, but let you not be afraid. Herself does be saying prayers half through the night, and the Almighty God won't leave her destitute, says he, with no son leaving. Nora is quoting what the priest has said to him. The priest said Nora that the priest is not going to stop Bertie from going to the Galway fair because Moria has prayed all through the night and the Almighty God would not leave her without any son. So there is no need to be worried about. Kathleen, is this a band by the White Rocks, Mar? They live in the islands. They knew by simply looking at the sea when it is safe and when it is not safe. So they're inquiring. Nora, middling bad, God help us. That's a great roaring in the west, and it's worse it will be getting when the tides turn to the wind. So the situation is getting worse by the time. She goes over to the table with a bundle. She was carrying the bundle and she was going over to the table. Shall I open it now? Asking, shall I open it? Maybe she would back upon us. She is Moria. Moria might get up and come in before we had done, because these two girls did not want her mother to see the bundle. Coming to the table, it's a long time we will be, and the two of us crying. Nora goes to the inner door and listens. Nora is checking. She's moving about on the bed. She'll be coming in a minute. So Nora has checked that she's moving. So they should be very careful. Kathleen, give me the ladder and I will put them up in a turf loft. The way she won't know of them at all. Turf loft is the storage area in the kitchen. So they are going to hide that bundle. And maybe when the tide turns, she'll be down to see would he be floating from the east. So when the tide turns, Moria would go down to see whether Michael's body would come by floating from the east. They put the ladder against the gable of the chimney. Kathleen goes up a few steps and hides the bundle in the top loft. Kathleen hides the bundle which has a shirt and a stocking. Moria comes from the inner room. They have just completed their task of hiding, and Moria has entered. Moria, looking up at Kathleen and speaking querulously, isn't it tough enough you have for this day and evening? She's the mother. She already knew that they are trying to do something hidden from her eyes. Isn't it tough enough? You don't have enough tough. What are you doing there? This is the question she's asking. Kathleen, there's a cake baking at the fire for a short space, showing down the turf. And they brought out some turf. And Bertley will want it when the tide turns if he goes to Connellan. And Bertley want it, will be in need of this cake if he is willing to go to Connellan. Nora picks up the turf and puts it round the pot oven, as if they were simply looking for the turf there. Maury, sitting down on a stool at the fire. He won't go this day, with the wind rising from the south and west. He won't go this day, for the young priest will stop him surely. They do have a faith in this priest that this priest might stop them. because if the priest stopped them, they would not go to the sea. Now Nora says, he will not stop him, mother. And I heard Eamon Simon and Stephen Fitty and Colum Sean saying he would go. Those three are three people, three of his friends, friends of Bartley. They are also going, and with them, Bartley is also going. Moral. Where is he itself? The people in the island are not very familiar with the language. The sentence should be, where is he himself? Let's look at the word itself. That is the substitute of he or she in the island. And the English they speak is not proper English. You could say that they speak in Hiberno English. They do have the uses of some old words, their way of associating things. So there was Catholicism rising, and at the same time, the island had their old faiths. So it has a mixture of some superstitions, some faiths, some lifestyle. All things are mixed together. Nora, he went down to see would there be another, both sailing in the wick, and I'm thinking it won't be long till he's here now, for the tide's turning at a green head and the cook is tacking from the east. So Bertley would come here in a minute. It is also possible. Kathleen, I hear someone passing the big stones. Nora, looking out, he's coming now and he's in a hurry. Bertley comes in, looks round the room, speaking sadly and quietly. Bertley is the only living man in the house. Michael has gone, and there is no news of him whether he is alive or he is dead. It is not proven till now. And Bertley is also leaving the house. Where is the bit of new rope, Kathleen? Was bought in Connemara. He is asking for a new rope. Kathleen, coming down. Give it to him, Nora. It's on a nail by the white boards. I hung it up this morning, for the pig with the black feet was eating it. They had to put the rope, they had to place the rope on a new place because pig with black feet was going to eat that rope. In Irish mythology, this pig with black feet, this symbolizes death or misfortune. Nora, giving him a rope. Is that it, Bertley? Maury, you would do right to leave that rope, Bartley, hanging by the boards. It will be wanting in this place, I'm telling you, if Michael is washed up tomorrow morning or the next morning or any morning in a week, for it's a deep grave we will make him by the grace of God. Moria is a mother and she is talking about the death of his son, Michael. If the body of Michael is washed up, then we might need this rope. So just keep it on its place. Bertley, beginning to work with the rope. I have no halter the way I can ride down on the mare, and I must go now quickly. So he need to make that halter because he is going to ride on the mare and he's in a hurry. This is the one boat going for 2 weeks or beyond it, and the fare will be a good fare for horses. I heard them saying below. He's going to sell horses then to earn money, to change their financial status. to live a bit better than yesterday. Moria, it's a hard thing they will be saying below if the body is washed up and there's no man in it to make the coffin. And I, after giving a big price for the finest white boards you would find in Connemara. So they have already brought the white boards from Connemara. About the white boards we have heard at the beginning of the play. And Bartley is the only son who is with the family now. He's also going. So Moria is very tensed. She looks round at the boards. Her expression that speaks volume. Her actions of looking at the boards. Why would she be looking at the boards? She knew that she might need this, either tomorrow or the next day. Bertley, how would it be washed up? And we after living each day for 9 days, and a strong wind blowing a while back from the west and south. Bartley is making a question. How would the body could be washed up? Because it's been 9 days since Michael has left. So there is very rare possibility of it. If it wasn't found itself, that wind is raising the sea, and there's a star up against the moon, and it rising in the night. There are stars in the night. If it was 100 horses or 1,000 horses it had itself, what is the price of 1,000 horses against a sun where there is one sun only? This line from the play is a very famous one, where Moria is talking very openly about her maternal instincts, that she is a mother and she has only one son left. And that son, Bertley, is also planning to go out. So, what is the price that could be paid if he had 100 horses or 1,000 horses against that one son? That son is more precious to Moria than the selling price of that 100 or 1,000 horses. Here is again an instance from the Aran Islands about the maternal feelings. We can take a look at it. The maternal feeling is so powerful on these islands that it gives a life of torment to the women. That instinct, that motherly instinct, that emotional connection, that has become a torment for their life. Their sons grow up to be banished as soon as they are of age, or to live here in continual danger on the sea. The moment they grew up, they are banished. And if they leave, even if they live there, they live in continuous tension, danger on the sea. Their daughters go away also, or are worn out in their youth with bearing children that grow up to harass them in their own turn a little later. Because their daughter, after getting married, after becoming mother, they bear children, and that children would again leave them, would again go out to earn money. They have their own way of creating harassments. So that maternal feeling, which works as a torment to these mothers living on the islands. Bertley, walking at the halter to Kathleen, Bertley did not reply to Maury. He is talking to Kathleen. Let you go down each day and see the sheep aren't jumping in on the rye. And if the jobber comes, you can sell the pig with the black feet if there is a good price going. So if you find a good price going on, you can sell the pig. Moria again saying, how would the like of her get a good price for a pig? How is she going to get a good price? Bertley again replying to Kathleen, if the west wind holds the last beat of the moon, let you and Nora get up feed enough for another cock for the kelp. Its hut set will be from this day with no one in it but one man to work. Butler is the one man in the family, and he have to work harder. Now all the responsibilities of the family are upon him. He cannot escape from it. He have to face the reality head on. Moria, it's hard said, we will be surely the day you are drowned with the rest. What way will I live and the girls with me, and I an old woman looking for the grave? Moria is making a clear statement that she has now in her old age. That old age is the second childhood. She is behaving like a child. She has lost all control. She don't know which word should be said to her son in this situation. She has forgotten because of the cruelty she has experienced all through her life. Berkeley lays down the halter, takes off his old coat, and puts on a newer one of the same flannel. Flannel is a particular kind of shirt, soft, casual, long-sleeved. So he wear a shirt, a flannel. Berkeley to Nora. Is she coming to the pyre? Is she coming? Nora looking on. She is passing the green head and letting fall her sails. Berkeley, getting his purse and tobacco. No, the the boat is coming. So Berkeley should leave now. I'll have half an hour to go down. And you will see me coming again in 2 days or in 3 days or maybe in 4 days if the wind is bad. So Berkeley saying that she would leave the house soon and would come back with the span of 2, 3, or 4 days maximum. Molly, turning around to the fire and putting her shawl over her head, she had covered her head. Her head is hidden. It's hidden from others. She does not want to be seen now. What is Moria saying? Isn't it a hard and cruel man won't hear a word from an old woman, and she holding him from the sea? She is again repeating those words so that she could stop Bertley from going out. She tried her best. Isn't the life of a young man to be going on the sea? And who'd listen to an old woman with one thing and she saying it over? This is the question that Kathleen made. And the only character in the play who is understanding the emotion of her mother as well as the emotion of her brother. And she is working as a bridge, trying very hard to fill the gap between these two characters. She is trying to comfort, to console her mother, Moria, who has not overcome the grief of the death of her sons. Bartley, taking the halter, I must go now quickly. I'll ride down on the red mare, and the grey pony will run behind me. The blessing of God on it. He goes out. Bartley has taken a very quick decision that he should leave now And he has given the information to his family that he's going to ride on the red mare and the gray pony will follow them behind. And then he blesses and he leaves the house. Moria, crying out as he is in the door, "He has gone now, God spare us, and we will not see him again. He has gone now. And when the black night is falling, I will have no sun left me in the world." Black night. Night is already dark. Night is already black. Then why is she saying that the black night is falling? It's like she is using this metaphorical darkness to emphasize on her condition of grief, her condition that she is in danger, something bad is going to happen. And she could sense it now. She is very clearly saying that when the black night is falling, I will have no sun left me in the world. As if she knew beforehand that this is the thing that is going to happen. Even before the measure took place. "Kathleen, why wouldn't you give him your blessing?" And he looking round in the door. "Isn't it sorrow enough? Isn't everyone in this house? Without your sending him out with an unlucky word behind him and a hard word in his ear?" Kathleen again rebukes her mother. That, "Why is it necessary, mother, that you should send everyone in this house with your harsh words? Why you must say those bad words, those unlucky words when someone is leaving the house or going to work?" Synge made it clear in his book, Duran Islands. Here is an example. Here is a quotation of few lines from that book, where he has given that instance a mother is cursing, and why this maternal instinct is so strong and why they feel the urge to curse their son. Let's take a look at it. When the last policeman had embarked, an old woman came forward from the crowd and, mounting on a rock near the slate, began a fierce rhapsody in Gaelic, the language of Ireland, pointing at the bailiff and waving her withered arms with extraordinary rage. She is talking about an old woman, a mother of someone, and who is very fierce, who has become very fierce and saying something. "This man is my own son. It is I that ought to know him. He is the first ruffian in the whole big world." Ruffian means hooligan. And she is talking about her son in this way. Then she gave an account of his life, colored with a vindictive fury I cannot reproduce. As she went on, the excitement became so intense, I thought the man would be stoned before he could get back to his cottage. The power of the words, the depth, the weight each word carries when we utter those words unnecessarily. On these islands, the women live only for their children, and it is hard to estimate the power of the impulse that made this old woman stand out and curse her son. They are all alone. These women on the island are all alone. They only live because of their sons and daughters. And their sons, somehow, when they come of age, they leave the house, and there is no surety of them that they would return to their home again. So this instinct, the impulse that has become so strong, so hard to avoid for a mother. In the fury of a speech, I seem to look again into the strangely reticent temperament of the islanders, and to feel the passionate spirit that expresses itself at odd moments only, with magnificent words and gestures. We do not talk on a regular basis with these kinds of words, but only at some odd moments where they should give blessing to their sons. Instead of giving them their blessing, they curse them. They cannot resist them from cursing. Moria takes up the tongs and begins raking the fire aimlessly without looking round. Now Moria has begun to walk. Nora, turning towards her, you are taking away the turf from the cave. You are taking that things with you, Kathleen, crying out. The Son of God, forgive us, Nora. We are after forgetting his bit of bread. She comes over to the fire. They were supposed to give Bartley the piece of bread, but they have forgotten, Nora. And it's destroyed. He will be going till dark night, and he after eating nothing since the sun went up. Since morning, Bartley had eaten nothing. Kathleen, turning the cake out of the oven, it's destroyed. He will be surely. There's no sense left on any person in a house where an old woman will be talking forever. Kathleen is again making a comment. It is destroyed, he will be. So Bertley will be completely broken from inside. Maybe he did not utter those words, but after hearing the harsh words, he's definitely broken. And how could he be not broken when he is hearing the tormenting words from his own mother? Kathleen is saying that's why that there's no sense left on any person in a house where an old woman will be talking forever. So that old woman, Moria, is talking all the time. She is not doing that willingly, but somehow, deep down in her heart, she fears of losing her only son to the sea. That's why she is behaving in such a manner. Moria sways herself on her stool. Kathleen, cutting off some of the braid and rolling it in a cloth to Moria. Now she has rolled some bread in a cloth. Let you go down now to the spring well and give him this, and he passing. You will see him then, and the dark word will be broken. And you can say God speed him. The way he will be easy in his mind. So Kathleen is again suggesting something to Moria that you quickly take this cloth where she has already given some breads. You will give this piece of bread to Bartley, and then you will say, God speed you. Means God bless you. So that all those harsh words which she had spoken just before, that could be broken. The curse could be broken. And Berkeley could be easy in his mind. Moria taking the bread. Will I be in it as soon as himself? Means, will Moria be able to go as fast as Berkeley has gone? Kathleen, if you go now quickly. Yes, you can go, but if you take the necessary steps right now. If you start going right now. Moria, standing up unsteadily, she's a very old woman. It's hard set time to walk. She's unable to walk. Kathleen, looking at her anxiously, give her the stick, Nora, or maybe she will slip on the big stones. She's asking Nora to pass those sticks to her mother so that she can have a balance and she walk by herself and go to Bertley. Nora, what stick? Kathleen, the stick Michael brought from Connemara. So the stick was also brought by Michael. Moria, taking a stick, Nora gives her. In the big world, the old people do be leaving things after them for their sons and children. But in this place, it is the young men do be leaving things behind for them that do be old. Moria is making this statement that usually parents leave things for their children. But in this place, children leave things. Children take care of the household. The responsibility here shifts from the shoulder of the elderly people to the younger ones, and they try their best to provide for their family. She goes out slowly. Nora goes over to the ladder. Nora and Kathleen are concerned to open that bundle. Kathleen, wait, Nora. Maybe she would turn back quickly. She is that sorry. God help her. You wouldn't know the things she would do. Nora, is she gone round by the bush? Kathleen, looking out. She has gone now. Throw it down quickly, for the Lord knows when she will be out of it again. And Kathleen is saying that she has no idea when and how her mother, their mother, is going to be recovered. Nora, getting the bundle from the loft, they took it out. The young priest said he would be passing tomorrow and we might go down and speak to him below. If it's Michael's, they are surely. The priest told that if it belongs to Michael, then we must go down tomorrow and speak to him. Kathleen, checking the bundle, did he say what way they were found? Has the priest spoken any word about how they have found that bundle? Nora, Nora, coming down, there were two men, says he, and they're rowing round with poteen. Poteen is a traditional high-strength Irish spirit, which is also known as Irish moonshine, generally distilled from grains, potatoes, or sugar. These two men were having the poteen before the cocks crowed, and the oar of one of them caught the body. Oar means the long pole that is flat and wide at one end and used for moving a small boat in the sea. So the oar of one of them caught the body, and they're passing the black cliffs of the north. In the north, Kathleen, trying to open the bundle. Give me a knife, Nora. The string's perished with the salt water, and there's a black knot on it. You wouldn't loosen in a week. It's very difficult to lose it. We cannot lose the knot. You have to cut it through. So bring a knife. Nora, giving her a knife. I have heard tell it was a long way to Donegal. Kathleen, cutting the string. It is surely. There was a man in here a while ago. The man sold us that knife. And he said if you set up walking from the rocks beyond, it would be 7 days you would be in Donegal. So they have got the information from a man who sold them the knife that if you start walking from the rocks, then it would be 7 days. Then you can only reach Donegal. So the span of the journey. Nora, and what time would a man take? And he floating. Nora is saying that, yeah, it is okay that by walking it takes 7 days. And what about a man who went there by floating? What time did he took? Kathleen opens the bundle and takes out a bit of stocking. They look at them eagerly. Now they have to inspect it. They have to make a decision or confirmation that whether these things belong to Michael or not. Kathleen in a low voice. The Lord spare us, Nora. Isn't it a quite hard thing to say? If it's his, they are surely. Isn't it strange to admit that these things belong to Michael? Nora, I'll get his shirt off the hook the way we can put the one flannel on the other. She looks through some clothes hanging in the corner. It's not with them, Kathleen. And where will it be? Kathleen. I'm thinking Bartley put it on him in the morning, for his own shirt was heavy with the salt in it. Pointing to the corner, there's a bit of a sleeve, was of the same stuff. Give me that and it will do. So they have to match it. They're trying, but they found that Bartley has wore that shirt in the morning. Nora brings it to her, and they compare the flannel. Kathleen, it's the same stuff, Nora, but if it is itself, aren't there great rows of it in the shops of Galway? And isn't it many another man may have a shirt of it as well as Michael himself? Many men can wear this kind of shirt. Nora, who has taken out the stocking and counted the stitches, crying out, it's Michael, Kathleen. They made the confirmation. It's Michael. God spare his soul. And what will herself say when she hears this story? And Berkeley on the sea. How would Moria react after hearing this story? Because everything is clear now. Moria has some expectation that Michael would come, somehow would return by floating. He would not come by floating, his body would come. And now that fear, that tormenting thought, that has actually happened in reality. Now how she would comfort herself. Kathleen, taking the stocking. It's a plain stocking, Nora. It's the second one of the third pair I needed. And I put up 3 stitches, and I dropped 4 of them. The way they have stitched, Nora is confirming that yes, this is the stocking. Kathleen counts the stitches. It's that number, isn't it? Crying out. Oh, Nora, isn't it a bitter thing to think of him floating that way to the far north, and no one to keen him but the black hags that do be flying on the sea? Kathleen is saying that it is a bitter thing. It's a bitter experience, bitter incident that happened. There was no one to keen for him. Keen is the mourning. When someone mourns for the dead bodies, there was no one to keen for him. But there were only black hats. Nora, swinging herself round and throwing out her arms on the clothes. And isn't it a pitiful thing when there is nothing left of a man who was a great rower and fisher, but a bit of an old shirt and a plain stocking? They're talking about their brother Michael, who was a great rower, fisher. But how could this be possible? That they only have got an old shirt and a plain stocking. There's no trace of him. Kathleen, after an instant, tell me, is herself coming, Nora? I hear a little sound on the path. Nora, looking out, she is Kathleen. She's coming up to the door. Kathleen, put these things away before she will come in. Maybe it's easier she'll be after giving her blessing to Bartley, and we won't let on we have heard anything the time he's on the sea. Just put these things away from her eyes so that she can be a bit easier in her mind. Nora, helping Kathleen to close the bundle. We will put them here in the corner. Let's put them in the corner. They put them in a hole in the chimney corner. Kathleen goes back to the spinning wheel as if she was there. Nora, will she see it was crying I was? Look, the way they have formed the sentence, it is not exactly in English. We do not say like this. It's Hibernian English, the English which was very popular in Ireland at that time. They were learning those things and were trying to arrange the words properly. Will she see it was crying I was? It means, would Moria know by looking at the face of Nora that she was crying? Or is it visible that she was crying? Kathleen, keep your back to the door. The way light will not be on you. So they have to hide that they have cried. Nora sits down at the chimney corner with her back to the door. Moria comes in very slowly, without looking at the girls, and goes over to her stool at the other side of the fire. The cloth with the braid is still in her hand. The girls look at each other, and Nora points to the bundle of braid. Moria is entering the house very slowly. She did not pay attention to any of the girls. She goes over to her stool. The cloth with the braid is in her hand. She is still holding that braid. The girls were very amused, shocked. They look at each other, and Nora points to the bundle of braid. Kathleen, after spinning for a moment, Kathleen didn't say anything instantly. She waited a bit, and then she said, "You didn't give him his bit of bread?" Moria begins to kin softly. Moria has begun to kin, to moan. Without turning round, Moria is not looking at them. Kathleen, did you see him riding down? Moria goes on caning. Again, Moria is caning. Kathleen, a little impatiently, God forgive you. Isn't it a better thing to raise your voice and tell what you see than to be making lamentation for a thing that's done? Did you see Bartley? I'm saying to you. Kathleen is saying that, have you seen Bartley? Mother, I'm talking to you. You could say what you have seen there. Moria, with a weak voice, my heart's broken from this day. Moria is saying that her heart is broken. Kathleen, as before, did you see Bartley? Moria, I seen the fearfulest thing. Kathleen leaves her will and looks out. God forgive you. He is riding the mare now over the green head and the grey pony behind him. Kathleen is saying that Bartley will be riding on the red mare and should be followed by the grey pony. Moria starts so that her shawl falls back from her head and shows her white tossed hair. With a frightened voice, Moray is saying, "The grey pony behind him." She is saying what she have seen, but she has seen the grey pony behind Bartley. Kathleen, coming to the fire. What is it ails you at all? What has made you behave like this? Moria, speaking very slowly. I have seen the fearfulest thing any person has seen since the day Bright Dara seen the dead man with the child in his arms. Moria is saying that she has seen the fearfulest thing. And now she is making a comparison with Bright Dara. Now, who is this Bright Dara? There are multiple references in literature. Some say that they are trying to talk about a saint, Saint Bridget. Some say that Bridget is the person who invented caning when she was mourning her son's death on the battlefield. Moria has seen the fearfulest thing, a very dreadly thing. She trying to explain that. Kathleen and Mom, they crouched down in front of the old woman at the fire because they knew that bright Dara symbolizes something dreadful, something horrible, or the loss of someone. Mom, tell us what is you seen, Maury? I went down to the spring well and I stood there saying a prayer to myself. I was going, I reached to the spring well. I was praying all by myself. Then Bartley came along, and he riding on the red mare with the grey pony behind him. Bartley came, riding on the red mare. She puts up her hands as if to hide something from her eyes. The Son of God spares Nora. Moria did not finish the sentence she was trying to say. The moment she tries to say it, she stops whenever she says grey pony. Kathleen, what is it you seen, Moria? I seen Michael himself. Moria is saying that Moria has seen Michael. Kathleen, speaking softly. You did not, mother. It wasn't Michael you seen, for his body is after being found in the far north, and he has got a clean burial by the grace of God. So Kathleen is saying that you cannot see Michael because Michael is already dead. He has got a clean burial because the priest had told them, Moria, a little differently. I'm after seeing him visited, and he riding and galloping. Bartley came first on the red mare, and I tried to say, God speed you, but something choked the words in my throat. He went by quickly, and the blessing of God on you, says he, and I could say nothing. Moria failed to give her blessing to Bartley, but Bartley again said, the blessing of God on you, and then went away. I looked up then, and I crying at the grey pony, and there was Michael upon it, with fine clothes on him and new shoes on his feet. That's very strange. That's the sign that Michael is no more in this world. Moria is so much in pain that she failed to bless her son, her only living son, Bartley, that she failed to give him her blessing. Here is a story that mentioned in the Aran Islands. Let's just read it. One day a neighbor was passing and she said when she saw it on the road, that's a fine child. That's a fairy tale. This is a fairy tale. And which says that one day a neighbor saw a child and said that the child was very fine. Its mother tried to say, God bless it, but something choked the words in her throat. Something same happened with the mother of this fine child. Her mother tried to bless the child, but something choked her. She couldn't bless the child. A while later, they found a wound on its neck, and for 3 nights the house was filled with noises. Little later, a wound was found. 3 nights, the house was filled with constant noises, very disturbing noises. I never wear a shirt at night, he said. The old man who was telling the fairy tale said that he usually do not wear a shirt at night. But I got up out of my bed, all naked as I was, when I heard the noises in the house, and lighted a light, but there was nothing in it. When he was hearing these disturbing noises, he got up, he lighted a light to find out what was happening there, but there was nothing. Then a dummy came and made signs of hammering nails in a coffin. Then the dummy made some signs. The next day, the sweet potatoes were full of blood, and the child told his mother that he was going to America. The child passed that information to her mother that he was going to marry. That night, it died. It means the child, the fine child, which who caught the attention of the neighbor, died. And believe me, said the old man, the fairies were in it. The fairies were there. They took the child. This is a story which was mentioned in the Aran Islands, and where Synge said that when the mother of the child tried to bless the child, something choked. And as a consequence of it, The mother her, has to bear the pain of loss of her son. Kathleen begins to keen. Kathleen has begun to mourn. It's destroyed we are from this day. It's destroyed surely. It is destroyed. Nora. Didn't the young priest say the Almighty God wouldn't leave her destitute with no son living? Didn't you remember the young priest said that? Moria, in a low voice, but clearly. Moria is saying something. She is revealing so much of information here, so much of her pain, which she was carrying in her heart all through the years of her life. It's little the like of him knows of the sea. Moria is saying that the priest does not know much of the sea. Bartley will be lost now, and let you call in Eamon, and make me a good coffin out of the white boards, for I won't leave after them. Maria is saying that Bartley is lost. Now we have to make coffin for Bartley. I have had a husband's father, and 6 sons in this house, 6 fine men. Though it was a hard birth I had with every one of them, and the coming to the world, and some of them were found and some of them were not found. But they are gone now, the lot of them. Maria is saying that it was very painful for her to bring her sons into this world. She had to bear so much pain to bring them. And what happened now? She has lost many of them. She has lost all of her sons. Some of them were found, means some of the bodies, the dead bodies were found, and some were not found. There were Stephen and Sean, her sons, were lost in the great wind, and found after in the Bay of Gregory of the Golden Mouth. There their bodies were found, and carried up, the 2 of them, on the one plank, and then by that door, that very door, by which the 2 bodies of her sons, the bodies of Stephen and Sean, were carried in. She pauses for a moment. The girls start, as if they heard something through the door that is half open behind them. Nora, in a whisper. Did you hear that, Kathleen? Did you hear a noise in the northeast? Kathleen, in a whisper. There's someone after crying out by the seashore. Someone is crying out there. Some noises are there. Moria continues without hearing anything. Kathleen and Nora were talking, but she did not pay attention then. There was Seamus and his father, and his own father again, were lost in a dark night, and not a stick or sign was seen of them when the sun went up. These 2 were lost. There were no trace of them, no sign of them. There was Patch, after was drowned out of a curray that turned over. I was sitting here with Bartley, and here baby lying on my 2 knees, and I seen 2 women, and 3 women, and 4 women coming in, and they crossing themselves, and not saying a word. She lost Patch, one of her sons, when Bartley was very young. Bartley was lying on her knees. And that day, she could clearly remember that 2 women, 3 women, 4 women were entering slowly into her house. And they were not speaking anything. They were not saying anything. I looked out then, and there were men coming after them. The women were followed by men, and they're holding a thing in the half of a red sail, and water dripping out of it. They were holding a thing. What is this thing? The dead body. They were carrying that body. and Nora, and leaving a track to the door, and that water which was dripping out of that dead body, out of that red sail, that was making a way to be remembered, and leaving a track to the door. She pauses again. Again, Moria stops, with her hands stretched out towards the door. It opens softly, and old women begin to come in, crossing themselves on the threshold. She shared her experiences from the past when she lost her son Patch. Now she has got the vision. She knew what does that mean. She is now sharing her experiences and the same things that is taking place there. Women are coming softly, crossing themselves, kneeling down in front of the stage with red petticoats over their heads, because this red color that was very peculiar in the island. They used to have this kind of dresses. Moria, half in a dream, to Kathleen. Is it Patch or Michael? Or what is it at all? Moria is inquiring. Who is it? She is not saying who, she is saying what. What is it at all? Kathleen. Michael is after being found in the far north. And when he is found there, how could he be here in this place? Kathleen is again trying to give the logical answer. Moria is not in a state to be consoled by that logic, that if the dead body was found in the north, then how are you expecting him to be here alive? Moria, there does be a power of young men floating around the sea. And what way would they know if it was Michael they had, or another man like him? For when a man is 9 days in the sea and the wind blowing its hurt side, his own mother would be to say, what man was it? When someone was fighting very hard in the sea for 9 days, how could anyone recognize who is the person? It would become very hard even for the mother of that person to recognize the dead body. Kathleen, it's Michael, God spare him, for they are after spending us a bit of his clothes from the far north. Kathleen again trying to make her mother believe that Michael is no more. That's proven because we have got his clothes. She reaches out and hands Moria the clothes that belong to Michael. Now, for the first time in this play, Kathleen took that bundle and hands it over to Moria, her mother. Moria stands up slowly and takes them in her hands. Nora looks out. Moria is taking all the things in her hands. Nora. They're carrying a thing among them, and there's water dripping out of it and leaving a track by the big stones. The description Moria gave a moment before is happening once again. And what is the thing they are carrying? Kathleen, in a whisper to the women who have come in. And Kathleen is asking, is it Bartley? It is. One of the women. It is surely, God rest his soul. Two younger women come in and pull out the table. Then men carry in the body of Bartley, laid on a plank with a bit of soil over it, and lay it on the table. They place the body of the dead man, the body of Bartley, on the table. Kathleen, to the women, as they are doing so. What way was he drowned? One of the women. The grey pony knocked him into the sea, and he was washed out where there is a great surf on the white rocks. Moria, she was fearing after seeing the grey pony and after seeing Michael upon it. And now we have heard that the grey pony knocked the red mare, knocked him into the sea. Moria has gone over and knelt down at the head of the table. She is kneeling there. The women are keening softly and swaying themselves with a slow movement. It's a way of keening, it's a way of showing grief to the family who has lost their near and dear ones. Kathleen and Nora kneel at the other end of the table, the men kneel near the door. Moria, raising her head and speaking as if she did not see the people around her. Moria is now not bothered by the presence of the people. Her house is full of people. Those men and women have come there for kneeling, for keening. They're all gone now, and there isn't anything more the sea can do to me. Moria has lost all of her sons to the sea, and there is nothing left in this world that the sea could do. The sea could not snatch any of her sons now, because Moria has lost every one, every son of her. I'll have no call now to be up crying and praying when the wind breaks from the south, and you can hear the surf is in the east, and the surf is in the west, making a great stir with the two noises, and the hitting one on the other. Now I have not to, I need not to wake up at night to pray and cry. I'll have no call now to be going down and getting holy water in the dark nights after Samhain. And I won't care what way the sea is when the other women will be keening. Samhain is the ancient Gaelic festival which marks the end of the harvest. And I won't care what way the sea is when the other women will be keening. She would not care how the other women will be keening, because she has lost whatever she has all through her life. There's nothing the sea could do to her. To Nora. Give me the holy water, Nora. There's a small cup still on the dresser. Nora gives it to her. Moria drops Michael's clothes across Bartley's feet and sprinkles the holy water over him. Moria is sprinkling the holy water. It isn't that I haven't prayed for you, Bartley, to the Almighty God. She is confessing now that Bartley, though I have failed to say Godspeed you to you, but it is not true that I haven't prayed. It isn't that I haven't said prayers in the dark night till you wouldn't know what I would be saying, but it's a great rest I will have now. And time surely. It's a great rest I will have now, and great sleeping in the long nights after Samhain. If it's only a bit of wet flour, we do have to eat, and maybe a fish that would be stinking. To survive in this world, one might need a shelter, food, water, clothing. So that's the necessity. We cannot avoid that. And Moria is saying that she is content with whatever she would be having to survive. She kneels down again, crossing herself and saying prayers under her breath. She is praying again. Kathleen, to an old man, maybe yourself and Eamon would make a coffin when the sun rises. We have fine white boards herself bought, God help her, thinking Michael would be found, and I have a new cake you can eat while you will be walking. So while you are walking here, You can have the cake, which Kathleen had made, and you can make the coffin. You can do your work here. The old man, looking at the boards. Are there nails with them? Kathleen, there are not, Colum. We didn't think of the nails. We don't have that thing. Another man. It's a great wonder she wouldn't think of the nails and all the coffins she has seen made already. Another man is giving a speech, which is significant here that a nail is not needed to see a coffin because Kathleen or Nora or Moria, they have experienced the coffins whenever they have seen the dead body. Kathleen, it's getting old she is and broken. Moria stands up again, very slowly, and spreads out the pieces of Michael's clothes beside the body. Sprinkling them with the last of the holy water. Whatever she had, she tried to give there. Nora, in a whisper to Kathleen, she is quiet now and easy, but the day Michael was drowned, you could hear her crying out from this to the spring well. It's fonder she was of Michael, and would anyone have thought that? Nora is saying that she was very fond of Michael. She cried very harder, and her cry was audible to the from the spring well outside. And now she is quiet. She is easy. It seems that she is easy. It seems to others that she is quiet. But is she really easy? Kathleen, slowly and clearly, an old woman will be soon tired with anything she will do. And isn't it 9 days herself is after crying and keening and making great sorrow in the house? Kathleen is saying that she has already cried for 9 days. Now she does not need to cry. She has already felt that grief. Moria puts the empty cup mug down towards on the table and lays her hands together on Bartley's feet. She laid her hands on Bartley's feet. They're all together this time. Please come. May the Almighty God have mercy on Bartley's soul and on Michael's soul and on the souls of Seamus and Patch and Stephen and Sean. These six are the names of her six sons. Bending her head, and may he have mercy on my soul, Nora, and on the soul of everyone is left living in the world. After losing all the sons in life, she is still praying, praying for mercy. She pauses, and the king rises a little more loudly from the women, then sinks away. Moria, continuing. Michael has a clean burial in the far north, by the grace of the Almighty God. Bertley will have a fine coffin out of the white boards, and a deep grave shown. So Michael has a clean burial. Bartley is going to have a fine coffin. What more can we want than that? There is nothing, there is no more expectations of life. No man at all can be living forever, and we must be satisfied. The philosophical statement made by Moria after experiencing grief to such an extent. She kneels down again and the curtain falls slowly. The play ends here, and here Synge has projected that man faces so many troubles in nature. Nature is not always a source of nourishing. Sometimes it shows its cruelty, the cruel side of nature, against which man has no power. See, the character is never present throughout the play, but its presence could be felt every now and then. through their words, and it is a powerful character in this play.